Greetings, Willow here again. We're going to finish up today's tarot lessons by going over the last four cards of the Major Arcana. So I wanted to also let you know that I did a separate little part for this video that goes over the spread that I've created and I use for myself with my clients. So I'm going to be showing you that as well. So there's a lot of information coming in this shorter video, but there will be a lot of good info, I think, for you. So let's get started. We're going to start with the moon. Now, the moon is a card of thinking about the shadows that are created when the moon is full. Things are a little mysterious. So when we see the moon, it's about mystery. It's also about our intuition, though, and our psychic abilities. So we need to really pay close attention when we get the moon card, because it's letting us know that mysteries will be revealed, that we need to pay attention to our intuition and our dreams. We may be having very vivid dreams as well. And also, a lot of times a client will be curious if they have any of their own psychic abilities, and this might pop up for them as well. So just remember, the moon is about mysteries being revealed, psychic abilities, and awareness. Now, and also, if this card is reversed, I look at it like it's the new moon instead of the full moon. And what happens with the new moon is new beginnings and new starts. So that's something else I like to look at when I get the moon card pop up. Now, the next one we're going to look at is the sun. The sun is the happy card. It is happiness and joy. If it shows up in your reading, it lightens up everything, even if it's some really negative things. So maybe they won't be quite as bad, for one. The other thing with the sun, it's like the path is being illuminated for you. Are you paying attention to the signs? Are you using your intuition? Are you being aware? So that's going to be important as well. So it does illuminate your path, so you'll know which way to go. But it does bring a lot of happiness and joy. When we get this card in a reading, and it's is this going to happen for me? And this card pops up, that question would be a definite yes. Lots of happiness and joy around that question. Now, the next one is judgment. Now, when I see the judgment card, I see it in a couple of different ways, okay? Now, if we thought about it in the Christian sense of Judgment Day, we might see that we would reap our rewards for all of our good deeds, okay? That's part of it. But the other thing that I see is about the judgment we place on ourselves, while we also might be worrying about how others see us or judge us. And are we judging others? So judgment has multiple connotations. So you really need to look at it and see what it means to you. It might mean one thing one time to you in one reading and something completely different the next time. It is one of those that I allow my guides to tell me which way it goes. So judgment is multiple things, okay? Don't judge yourself. Don't worry about how others judge you. Don't judge others. And you may be reaping your rewards of all your good deeds. And our final card is the world. Okay, this is card number 21. This is the final completion of all the journey. So when we see the world, we can say, okay, we're going to complete our goals. We're going to reach the final destination. But sometimes just because we've finished something doesn't mean there's not something else that we're going to be working on next. Just because we finish one part of a project doesn't mean that the next part's not going to get finished. So the world is completion. If it would be reversed, it's still a work in progress. It's not quite completed yet. Or you may need to work on something to finally wrap it up. But overall, the world is the completion of the journey of the tarot. Okay? So I have gone over the 3-card yes and no spread on my last video. And I'm going to add to this video another clip of the reading spread that I use for my clients. Now, you can change it for yourself. It doesn't have to go exactly the way I do mine. You might like the Celtic Cross spread, which is in every one of your books that you can find. You can even find it online. But choose one that works for you. There are so many. There's a Tree of Life, and there's the Wheel of the Year, and there's multiple. There's just some that are just past, present, and future. You can look at any of those spreads and put them to work for yourself. But use one that you can remember and you can feel comfortable with. And that's why I use mine. And mine has been helping me. My clients find that it's very easy to understand what I am telling them. And I am a little different because a lot of readers don't make sure that the energies are in the cards, for that their client has shuffled the cards and put their energy in it. If for some reason they were distracted, if their energy didn't go in, how are you going to know? You're going to give them a reading, but it might not be accurate. So that's why, because I'm reading in very noisy environments like Jackson Square, weddings, that's lots of noise, lots of activity, I like to double check to make sure that we have their energy in the cards. The way I do it, I'm going to clear the cards with my own shuffling before the client sits down. I have stones and crystals that I also lay on my cards to do clearing on them from getting all the emotions and other energies off the cards between readings. The other thing that I do then is I let the guest, the client, choose which deck they want me to use. I generally when I go out to Jackson Square or do weddings or anything, I use 2 decks. I use the Gilded Tarot and I use the Steampunk Tarot. I've kind of giggled because my clients go, well, this one looks happy and this one looks serious, between the gilded looking happy and the steampunk looking more serious. But whatever they think it is, let them choose. The one they choose is going to take in more of their energy more easily. And that's how I do it. So I let them shuffle. I do a little meditation prayer where I hold the cards. You may have seen me do that when I've done some of the readings here on my channel. But the prayer that I use, and I'll let you know, I close my eyes and I hold the deck in my hands because I'm trying to pick up their energies and I'm trying to connect my guides, my spirits, my angels with theirs so that we can get all of the energies that is needed for the message coming through. So I hold the cards and then I begin by saying in my head, I don't say it out loud, I say, Divine Mother, Divine Source, all that is. I ask for the guidance, the protection, and the direction. And then I say to the ancient ones, to the ancestors, to the spirit guides, and to the guardian angels, I ask for your blessings on, and the client's name, because I always get their name. If you would please help me bless them with the message you would have them to have. And then I proceed by laying out the first 3 cards. And that is the present. And that's how I'm going to test. When I read that to them, they are asked to only give me a yes or no answer if the present that I read makes sense to anything going on in their life. If it makes sense, we go on. If it does not, I hand the cards back to them and they shuffle some more. I do the prayer again, and then I proceed. And generally, if it's really loud, it might take 2 shuffles, and that doesn't even happen very often. Most of the time, it's the first one. But sometimes it does. So I just wanted to let you know that's how I'm doing my readings. And if you want to copy that, that's great. If you don't, if you want to do your own thing, that's awesome, great. Do your thing, right? But do it the way that you're going to be able to remember it. That is what's important, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this out, but you're going to see another clip that pops up, and that's going to be going over the spread for you. So until next time, don't forget, if you need a reading, please contact me through willowlamashot.com. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. If you need to ask me questions about tarot, feel free. I've been answering questions. You can contact me through the Facebook or Instagram to get those answers. And until next time, be blessed. Okay, so I have the cards laid out here, and I'm going to also be posting just a photo with the names of the different cards of what locations they represent. But I wanted to go over this real quick with you. So this is the spread that I created. It's very similar to the Celtic Cross, but I made it my own. So let's see. This card, and this card. I would look at those as the present for my client. The reason I do that is because I want to make sure I have their energies in the cards. So that is my test. I generally lay those first three out upright, not reverse. I just did this so that you could see the position. But I would have them facing up, and I read those to the client and ask if it makes sense to anything going on in their life right now. If it does, they should not be giving you any information, but if it makes sense to them, then you have their energy in the cards. That's where I start. So this next one, this one right here, that is the past or their wisdom. So it's lessons they have already learned that they could utilize in the present or in the future. Now, I generally start with a 6-month reading, and then I allow them to ask questions about the next 12 to 18 months. I don't like to go out too far. That's also very important. So this next two cards, this one and this one, those are going to be the strongest energies around them over this next 6 months, let's say. You could do it maybe for the next 12 months, but I like to do 6 months. I like to go a little bit closer in time because there's too many variables. So those two would be the most, the strongest energies around them at this time. Now, I don't stop there because I look at these next two, and those are the assisting energies, things that might help them get through that strong energy. It might be what could help them, assist them, or maybe some background things that are going on. It gives you a little bit more information. Now, this next one would be the area of hope, what they would hope to get out of the next 6 months or 12 or 18, however you want to look at it. But that's their hope area. Generally, when we look at the hope, we try to see if it's aligning with what the energies are showing. So is it going and corresponding with those strong energies? Okay. The final card that is there, I look at it like the overall energies, the overall theme of what might be going on. It gives me a little bit more information about the whole 6 months, and that's how I'm doing it. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm also channeling with their guides, with my guides. So it's like my people talk to their people, and I get the minutes of that meeting. So that's how I'm doing this. So you'll be able to do your spreads however you want, but I just wanted to show you what I'm doing.